Let's create our first math problem. So what we want to do is open up this scripts folder and create our first script. We're going to push right click. I keep saying control because I'm pushing control on my keyboard with this mouse. Control click equals a right click, and so I go create. I'm going to do mono behavior script. I've seen that some of you have to pick. It'll say C# script, a C with a pound sign or a number sign. That'll also work. So we're going to hit mono behavior script, and we're going to call it right away. Type math level 1. Okay. Now be prepared to type that as soon as the file is created, because Unity will create some things for you, and then if you change this name later and it doesn't match here, the class name doesn't match the file name, you have problems. And then I've seen instances where even though you change the name in both places to match, if you don't do it initially, it could still cause problems. So it's better just to know what you're going to write beforehand. So I'm going to open this up. Some of you have to use text edit instead of Visual Studio Code. Yeah, it actually works. So these Visual Studio just has some cool features to kind of highlight things and change colors of stuff. And anyway, we can get into that later. So first things first, let's go ahead and get started here. We need to write and tell Unity that we are using TextMesh Pro, and to do that we write TMPRO, TextMesh Pro, and that's how the Unity developers set this up. And so first things first, let's go ahead and make that problem write something in there. And so the way we do that, we need to say public and TextMesh Pro GUI, yep, GUI right there, that one right there. Okay, and I'm gonna call this problem display. Okay, because it's gonna display the problem. Okay, and to do that, we're gonna write a function here, and we are going to need a couple of things. In our math problem, there's two numbers and then a correct answer. So let's write these. Let's create variables for these numbers, and we're going to say int. That stands for integer, and this is the name that we create for it. We're going to call it number. I could have called it number 1, number A, and then private int number B. Okay, and then we're going to say, I like to keep things alphabetical, so I'm going to put private int correct answer. Now, I had done this before, so those were the variable names I used before. So I'm going to, for myself, I'm looking at a printed out, full disclosure, I've printed out code, and I'm looking at it, referencing it, and I'm writing it out now. Okay, and then we need to create a function that's going to take these two numbers, add them together, and just and write the whole problem out for us. And so we could start writing our function right here. So public void, and I'm going to call this generate addition problem. Okay, and then you put these two little parentheses and then these curly brackets like that, and it has an open curly bracket and a closed one. I'm going to hit a couple spaces. This curly bracket matches up with this one. The whole class is wrapped in these two. And then each function gets its own set of curly brackets. Okay, so now we need to create a constant integer, and we're going to make this a minimum range. So I'll explain this in a second. We're going to give it a minimum value and a maximum value, that a range of numbers that we could use to that we want these problems to consist of. And so I decided off screen that I was going to go between 0 and 20. And we'll find out in a second how Unity generates random numbers. So we're going to say number A equals, and we're going to type random dot range. This is built-in stuff into Unity. So it knows how to generate these numbers. And we're going to say min inclusive. And what inclusive means, it includes the number that we created. And we'll say max range exclusive. Okay. And this is supposed to say min range. Okay, sorry. Okay. So the way random numbers are generated in Unity is whatever number, like if I said random range 0 to 10, it would actually have a possibility of between 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, but not this top number. So you put this at 21 because then it'll include 20. Okay, that's just how they built it. And so number B equals, and I am going to just copy and paste this because it's got the same thing. And then we are going to create a string. String is like a word. String question, so it's a variable still. It's equals, and then it's the $, quotation, curly bracket, and we put number A, and then we put plus right after the curly brackets, and then I put a space there, and I put number B, and then we put a space, we put equals, and then the question mark. And then at the end, in C#, you need to put this semicolon at the end of all your lines of code. Okay, and then we're going to refer to this right here. So I'm going to copy this. And we're going to say problem display dot text. That's how you refer to the Text Mesh Pro text box. And it equals the string that is what we said is our question. Okay, now, that's great. We have this whole function here that tells it what to write. By the way, go file save. Okay, but however, that function never gets called into action. It never gets called into action. So we need to just basically copy the function name, and in the start, when the game loads up, start happens. This start function gets called one time. And so we could tell this function to happen now. Put a semicolon in it. So right here, when the game starts, it tells it, do this function. This function's right here, and this is the stuff that's inside it. That's going to happen. And let's go into Unity. Let's see if we did everything correctly. A couple of things first before I push play. Well, let's see what happens. It's going to break. It's going to break because I didn't do a couple things. So in the console, wait, where's my error? Should have had some, I didn't even attach that script to anything in the first place. That's a big important step. So we're gonna go control and create an empty, and we're gonna call this thing scripts. Everybody call it scripts, okay? Because later on, we're gonna use that name. So we're gonna go scripts, and we're gonna attach that script that we just created called Math Level 1. I started typing Math Level 1, and there it is. And you'll see right here, it says problem display. Now we have to drag the text in there. If we don't, this is the error I was gonna show that we get. See, it says right here, this reference is not set to an object yet. We needed to drag it in there. So you unplay it, and then this problem text, I drag it into there. Now it's happy, and when I push play, it will now generate the problem. 15 plus 7. Watch. If I unplay it and play it again, it was just 15 plus 7. Let's see, what do we get now? 6 plus 13. Okay, I have decided that I want to make my problem text bigger. I'm going to go with like 120. Nah, that's too big. 90. Well, whatever. Okay, so there we go. So you have a problem generator now. So go ahead and generate a problem. Take a screenshot of that. Hey, it did 15 plus 7 again. That's kind of weird. Let's see. Push play. 12 plus 8. Okay, take a screenshot of that, and that'd be great. Okay. You could actually show your script down there too. Take a screenshot like that. That'd be perfect. Okay, have fun.